Hey everybody, it's Christopher, Coach Chris from Sweat Factory CrossFit. Happy Wednesday evening. I'm here to go over the workout for tomorrow. We'll go over the warm-up and the workout and then one extra little piece. So, the workout tomorrow, the WOD is Froggin, and we'll get to that in a minute, but first is the warm-up. So, for the warm-up for this one, you want 8 minutes, so you want to set your clock for 8 minutes, set your timer for 8 minutes, focus on quality with these reps, and we're going to do 10 frog jumps. So, frog jump. Going to have our feet about hip width apart, maybe a little wider, shoulder width. Take our hands, come down in a squat. So, butt back, shoulders back, straight down, bring our hands down, touch the floor. This is the start position right here. And then we're going to jump like a frog. So somewhat similar to jumping squats, except your hands are actually touching, your fingertips are touching the ground. And then you're going to jump straight up, just like a frog. You're going to come up off your toes, land on your toes, get back on your heels, come back down into the squat, jump, come back down. A couple variations on this. You can, if you're feeling froggy, you can jump forward a little bit and backwards a little bit. So you'd be in the start position. You come up, jump a little bit forward. Come up, jump a little bit backwards if you're feeling froggy. So you're going to do 10 of those, really focusing on getting that hip below parallel, adder below parallel, keeping your back nice and tight, keeping your core tight. After that, you're going to do a 200-meter run. So if you have 200 meters marked out, that's awesome. If not, 200 meters is going to be about 25 to 30 second run, depending on how fast you run. If you're a faster runner, it'll be closer to 25 seconds, 20 seconds maybe. If you're not as fast, then about 30 seconds. So that gives you an idea of, if you don't have it marked out, about how long a 200-meter run is. And then you're going to do 5-inch worms to push up. So for this one, depending on how tight your hamstrings are, you can have your feet about hip width apart. If they're not very tight, if they're pretty flexible, or if they're a little tight, you can go out a little bit, shoulder width if you need to, hip width, shoulder width, even a little bit further if you need to. Wherever's going to allow you to get your hands down so that you can walk out. Look it back. Walk out to a plank position, nice and tight, and then push up. Chest to the ground if you can. Walk back, keeping those legs straight, getting that nice stretch in the hamstrings. Come back, walk it back out, stop, push up. Keep those elbows in, walk it back. Get 5 of those. So 8 minutes, 10 frog jumps, 200-meter run, 5-inch worms to push up. For the WOD, after that, you'll be nice and warmed up, ready to go. For the Froggin WOD, every 5 minutes times 5 rounds, you're going to do a 200-meter run, 15 burpees, and then another 200-meter run. So that's one round. You do 200 meters, 15 burpees, 200 meters. You're done. Put your time down. And then you have the rest of that time to rest until the 5 minutes is up. Then the next round starts. So it'll be like 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. And your score for this after each round is going to be your slowest round. So it behooves you to think about this, try not to go all out on the first round and wear yourself out. Try not to sprint, the both 200 meters and do the burpees incredibly fast, and because you're going to run out of air and you're going to run out of steam. So kind of spread it out a little bit. Think about that. It is 5 rounds, so it's a lot. It's a good bit of running, good bit of burpees. For the burpees, it's only 15, but it does add up because it's a bunch of rounds. Focus on your forms for these. Try to get a really good burpee in. So, when we come down, we want to make sure that we try to stay nice and tight for that push-up part, through the burpee, through the up part, bring the feet up, full extension, clap overhead. We want to try to keep those as nice and tight as possible throughout the movements. Let's see, so that's that. If you can't run, you can do 50 high knees, so it'd be 25 on each side. So those would be just, get those knees nice and high, right? You want them to come above the hip crease. You want the knees above the hip crease when you're doing that. So that's one thing you could do. Or you could do 30 box jumps as an alternative for the run as well. So that's the workout, nice and simple, no equipment needed, which is nice. And then last part for body armor, this is an extra piece if you're feeling like it. We're going to do 50 child makers, and this is not for time. So, child makers, for this one, your choice on weight. The thing is to keep your form good. So if you're thinking about, if you try these out and you think I can go heavy, think that you're doing 50 and you already did a good warm-up, you already did a good workout, so bear that in mind. So for the child makers, we have our dumbbells. If we have dumbbells, we'll go over if we don't, but first we'll go over when we have dumbbells. We're going to get into a push-up position. Keep everything nice and tight. Core is nice and tight. Everything's nice and engaged. Weights on your hands and on your toes. We're going to get down into a push-up. Come back up. Set your feet for this. A lot of times when we do the push-up, our feet are a little narrower. And then when we go to do the row, it might put us off balance. So you might need to widen your feet a little bit for this. You're going to row with the left hand. Elbow up nice and high. Keep the weight nice and close to your torso. Row with the right. Same thing. Elbow up nice and high. Keep the weight nice and close to your torso. And then you're going to hop up to the front to where the weights are. Get set. Bring the weights in nice and close, and we're going to set up for a deadlift. So from here, want to make sure that the weights on the heels, that the dumbbells are close to midfoot or by the heel, and then chest is out, and we're going to stand up for a deadlift. Bring it back down. We can walk the feet back into that plank position. That's 1 rep completed. So 50 of those. So think about that when you're doing when you're setting this up. How much weight do I want to use? If I have the dumbbells, it can get pretty heavy pretty fast, and we really want to keep good form on these. If you only have 1 dumbbell, you would just do a push-up, and then use the 1 dumbbell for the left hand, and then switch it to the right hand. And then for the deadlift, it would just be 1 arm. Next one, you could do the other arm, so you would just switch the dumbbell back and forth for the row, and then for the deadlift as well. And then if you had no equipment, what you'd want to do is you'd want to do right here, and you'd want to come down into the plank position. So this is like a push-up plank right here. Come back up, push up. Then we're going to go into a burpee. So swing those legs back up and do your burpee. So that one is just starting in this position, in the push-up position. You're going to come down on your elbows, 1 at a time. Come back up, keep your core nice and tight, keep everything nice and tight. Push up, keep the elbows in. Bring the legs up. Finish out the burpee. So that's how you can do child makers without weight. And that's it. That's the workout for tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoy it. Take care, have a good night, and kick some butt with the workouts tomorrow.